We're kicking off this list with one of Herbert's creepiest opening lines. I mean, who tries to lure a kid into a basement with popsicles in broad daylight?
Hey, Mr. Herbert.
Oh my God! Children, run! It's that pervert! Everybody into my safety basement! Oh, that was a bad snap. I'm hurt, kids! Don't eat those popsicles till I get down there!
All right, Herbert, Chris may be too naive to get the red flags here, but for us...
I can't talk to her. It's like girls are a different species or something.
Oh, who needs them? You like popsicles?
Well, sure.
And you need to come on down to the cellar. I got a whole freezer full of popsicles.
This is Herbert's first solid step into full-on creep territory. It's like that weird uncle you avoid at family gatherings, but worse.
That's a nice muscly throwing arm you got there.
Thanks.
Got a nice tip for you right here in my pocket, but my arthritis. Why don't you reach in there and fish it out for yourself?
Oh, that's okay, mister. I don't collect till the end of the month. I'll see you tomorrow.
And honestly, Chris walking away is probably the best move he's made in the entire series. But if you think this is bad, buckle up. The Popsicles are just the beginning.
Now, son, your parents are on their way, but since time is a factor here, we'd like to get a positive ID as quickly as possible.
Are you sure he can't see me?
Absolutely, Chris. You're 100% safe.
At this point in the series, Herbert had been creeping around the edges of the Griffin family's life. But it was moments like this where his obsession with Chris became crystal clear.
The kids play howdy-doody as the sun sets in the west. A picture out of better homes and gardens.
And somehow, the writers still found ways to make it even more uncomfortable as the series went on. Like, it's already disturbing that this is happening in a comedy show, but they just kept pushing the envelope. And we'll get to that. Herbert as a lifeguard?
To see you locked in a basement, but now that it's happened, all I want to do is get you out.
That's like hiring a wolf to watch your sheep. In this scene, Herbert decides it's the perfect time to offer Chris a seat.
You're slippery. Oops, got away. Left my hand smelling funny. Come here, Jesse. Smell my finger.
On his lap. And honestly, the only thing more disturbing than Herbert in a Speedo is the fact that Chris, as usual, has no idea what's going on.
Hi, I ran away from home. Do you mind if I live with you?
Live with me? My goodness, I feel like I want to pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming.
It's like Chris has some sort of radar that turns off whenever someone's being creepy around him.
I want to lay down a few ground rules. No cussing, clean your plates, and only a half hour of radio, and then it's off to bed.
Which, honestly, probably saved him from years of therapy. I mean, the dude can't even swim away fast enough.
All right, Chris, enough swimming. Let's get out of the pool without drying off and hang out by the food table. These chlorine Doritos are my favorite.
I like these soggy cheese doodles.
Come on, don't be shy. Drip right in the dip. People want to taste your body water.
What makes this scene even funnier is that no one else at the pool seems to find Herbert weird.
Bend over in front of you to get little bits of lint out of the rug? I know what you're about, Mr. Herbert. Free labor, and I'm not into it!
Like, the Griffins are just cool with leaving their kids around the creepiest guy in town.
So it would only be till Monday, and we could pay you for it.
Yeah, and it's real easy, I promise. I mean, you've spent time watching children, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, I have.
Maybe this is a sign that the entire town of Quahog has issues.
Oh my God, Chris is still in there! Somebody save Chris!
I don't know about you, but I'd probably move if I saw this happening at my local pool. Yep, we're doing this. Herbert's fantasy life is the stuff of nightmares, but somehow it gets weirder. Here, we get a front row seat to his creepy daydreams, where Chris becomes the star of a Disney musical.
Hand me the paper so I don't need to use my grabber. That's a nice muscly throwing arm you got there.
Thanks.
Got a nice tip for you right here in my pocket, but my arthritis. Why don't you reach in there and fish it out for yourself?
And no, it's not a princess by his side. It's Herbert. I've seen plenty of things that have scarred me, but watching Herbert serenade Chris takes the cake.
Take 2. Take 3. Take 4. That's enough. Happy Halloween!
And trust me, it gets much worse from here. This is just Herbert's warm-up. This scene is particularly disturbing because it reveals just how far Herbert's imagination will go. It's not just that he likes Chris. He actually dreams about being in a romantic musical with him. And the fact that the show plays this off with such a lighthearted tone only makes it weirder.
Things that don't make sense to you.
Okay.
And there's going to be a lot of talk, nasty talk. And I just want you to know, from me, it's all going to be out of context.
I don't know what that means.
It means if I die, you gotta burn my house down!
In typical Herbert fashion, he takes creepy to a whole new level here, showing up outside Chris's window like some twisted version of a romance movie. But instead of rain-soaked love confessions, we get this. I mean, why won't you love me?
You got anything you used to wear in the summertime?
Just these old shorts.
Sweet Jesus.
Herbert, maybe because Chris is a child and you're literally the stuff of nightmares. Honestly, this moment makes me grateful for curtains. And if you think this is bad, trust me, Herbert's got worse waiting for us further down this list.
Sorry, Master Herbert.
Sorry. You better get your ass in that closet, Pewter Schmidt.
Yes, sir.
It's moments like these that make you wonder why the Griffin family hasn't moved yet. I mean, how many nights can you deal with this guy staring in through your windows before you decide enough is enough? The fact that they don't even seem to notice anymore is honestly concerning. And here we have the moment where Herbert officially crosses into full-blown stalker territory.
Sorry, Mr. Herbert, but I don't even want to mow this lawn.
You could bring your friend over there to help you. Come on, Herbert. Rope this calf. Would $600 a week change your mind?
Would it? You got a deal.
And I can pay you under the table. I like to make a little fort under there.
Chris is in the hospital, unconscious. And what does Herbert do?
You had a heart attack, sweetie.
A heart attack?
Yeah, you almost worked yourself right into the ground, buddy.
Oh, it's all our fault. We never should have let you take on the pressure of being an adult.
It's okay, Mom. Boy, I thought being a grown-up would be easier than being a kid.
Naturally, he sneaks in to serenade him like it's some kind of twisted lullaby. I mean, I'll be watching you?
It's time you did all the work and I goof off with Mr. Herbert.
Like hell it is.
Jesse, is this really happening?
You're going down, old man.
I ain't the one going down. You're going down.
Herbert, we know. We all know. And this just made it worse. If there was ever a time to press charges, it's now.
I hate to be a nuisance, but your son stopped kicking the back of my chair.
This scene plays out like a horror movie, but somehow it's Family Guy. The fact that no one ever calls Herbert out for this behavior might just be the weirdest part of the whole show. And let's be real, Herbert should have a restraining order by now.
Y'all know what day it is?
No.
It's bath day.
Oh, I don't want to take a bath.
Not for you, silly. It's bath day for me.
It's no secret by now that Herbert will do anything to get close to Chris, and sneaking into the attic is just another step in his ever-expanding playbook. While the family is distracted, Herbert sees his chance and makes himself at home. And Chris, in true Chris fashion, has no idea what's going on.
And he knew that sometimes the things that seem the most dangerous turn out to be the most fun. Yes, sir, it was a good day for young Peter.
If anyone ever needed better situational awareness, it's Chris Griffin.
Hi, I ran away from home. Do you mind if I live with you?
Live with me? My goodness, I feel like I'm gonna pinch myself to see if I'm dreaming.
Herbert's persistence is honestly something to behold. Like, we get it. Herbert, you have no shame.
Yeah!
But maybe the attic wasn't the best place to make your move. Also, where's everyone else while this is happening? Because this feels like the moment where an adult should step in.
My dad's helping me find a hobby.
Well, you sure got a pretty morning for it.
Chris, don't waste our time with the elderly. They're dying.
Just when you thought Herbert's obsession couldn't get any weirder, we get this dream sequence.
Well, I'm all done shoveling your walk, Mr. Herbert.
Thanks, Chris, but there's some in here, too.
Herbert imagines himself as Chris's knight in shining armor, rescuing him from danger like he's the star of some medieval romance. And yes, it's as unsettling as it sounds. The fact that Herbert even dreams like this should tell you everything you need to know.
Oh, hey, Chris. This is Tyler. Don't make this weird now. Oh, what a gentleman.
And what's worse, we're still not done. Honestly, if I had dreams like this, I'd be seeking professional help. But for Herbert, it's just another Tuesday.
Mr. Herbert, it's 6 o'clock. I'm not really tired yet.
Well, you had those 3 cups of NyQuil. You'll be down soon enough.
Okay. Good night, Mr. Herbert.
Sweet dreams, Chris.
And poor Chris has no idea that he's the star of Herbert's twisted fairy tales. This is the moment where things go from creepy to straight up horrifying.
I'm trying to help you.
Help me what? Clean your pool with my shirt off? Or wash your car in jean shorts? Bend over in front of you to get little bits of lint out of the rug? I know what you're about, Mr. Herbert. Free labor, and I'm not into it!
Herbert sneaks into Chris's room in the dead of night just to watch him sleep. I mean, how is this guy not in jail yet? Seriously, at this point, it's starting to feel like the entire town is turning a blind eye to Herbert's antics. And for the love of all things holy, someone lock their doors.
How can this not be a trap?
There's nothing more disturbing than realizing that someone's been watching you while you sleep. But for Chris, it's just another day in Quahog. I guess when you've got a guy like Herbert living next door, you get used to it.
No thanks. I gotta get going.
Oh, don't make me beg now.
You're funny. Bye.
Which is terrifying. If there's one thing you don't want from Herbert, it's a gift.
Nephew somersault compilation?
Well, even if you never heard of them, I assume you heard of the alphabet. You want to explain to me how Sammy Popsicle comes before napping various?
Geez, I'm sorry. Well, can we watch Lost Boys? I've heard of that one.
Those are different Lost Boys.
In this scene, Herbert approaches Chris with what looks like a present, and let's be honest, we all know it's not going to end well.
Chris, I think it's time for you to go.
Okay, I'll go. But I want you to know, I faked all my lightheadedness. Good Kool-Aid. Whoa, whoa. Sound familiar?
Whatever's in that box is definitely something Chris doesn't need. Fortunately, Chris's sixth sense kicks in just in time, and he walks away, sparing us all from whatever creepy surprise Herbert had in mind. Honestly, it's moments like this that make you wonder how Chris hasn't moved to a different town by now.
Okay, Chris, now if you're gonna learn how to mow a lawn, the first lesson is that you always start by 7 a.m., before everyone wakes up, including roosters.
If someone like Herbert was offering me gifts, I'd be out of there in a heartbeat. We've finally reached the peak of Herbert's creepiness. In this scene, Herbert crashes Chris's date and offers to join in.
Souvenir photograph?
Hell yes.
And yes, it's exactly as uncomfortable as it sounds. Chris's reaction says it all, running for his life.
He knows best. The kids play howdy-doody. as the sun sets in the west.
Because honestly, what else can you do at this point? Herbert, take the hint. The answer is always no. If we've learned anything from this countdown, it's that Chris deserves a medal for surviving all these encounters with his sanity intact.